Hey everyone, Brian here with DIY Outdoor Life. We're getting ready for a great camping trip here in the Catskills, but I wanted to start this off with some tips and tricks on how I move my lightweight trailer by hand. You see, these tiny trailers like this Teardrop can be moved around in our campsite when they're detached from the tow vehicle. So let's check out how to do that. Now, if you're new to tiny campers, you might not realize that one of the coolest features about them are our ability to move these trailers around by hand. Whether we're staying at a campground, we're moving it at home, or we're in our favorite boondocking sites, a lot of times the proper orientation of the camper is different than the one that we're able to achieve with our tow vehicle. Whether this is an attached awning or like my trailer has a single entry door, it might be changing the window to face the view. The ability to move this trailer around is a huge feature. Now, when I'm at home, I use a dolly to do this, moving it in and out of my garage, and I'll throw a link to that in the description. I use it on my wood splitter, on a landscaping trailer. It's a really cool, useful tool to own. But I'm not gonna bring that out to these campsites. It's heavy, it's an awkward shape. So what I'm gonna show you today is the inexpensive, lightweight version that I use that allows me a lot of flexibility in where I park my camper. So let's check that out. So to do this job, we really only need two tools. The first is a high quality double caster wheel. I'll throw a link for everything that I'm using in the description, the little drop down arrow below the video, to make it easy for you to see the products that I'm testing and reviewing. Now this double caster wheel is a lot better than the single caster wheel. It floats up on top of the ground, whether we're in sand or wet sod, where the single caster wheel cuts into the ground. This one floats where the single one starts to plow. So this makes the job really easy. The next one is a lightweight short tow strap. Now I've had this one for years. I use it for 1,000,001 things. It never leaves my tow vehicle. But these two tools together are gonna make this job really, really easy, and they don't take up much space. Now, occasionally I use one of these wheel chucks, and you probably already own one of these, but let's check out how these go on. So I hope this angle is coming out all right, but with our trailer attached to the vehicle, we're gonna remove the sand pad. It's as simple as pulling the pin out, and it comes free from the bottom of the tongue jack. We're just gonna replace our double caster wheel right where the sand pad was located. It comes with its own pin that slides in, and it only takes a second. Once we have the double caster wheel attached, the rest of the steps are the same as they always are. We're gonna decouple the trailer from the truck and just crank the jack down until it decouples itself and places the weight on the wheels. Now I'm going to remove the tow vehicle and allow the trailer to stand on its own axle wheels as well as this double caster wheel. Now, you might want to use a little situational awareness when you're doing this. If you're parked on a hard material like blacktop or on an incline, you might want to use your wheel chucks to make sure that your trailer doesn't roll forward or back when you're decoupling it. It's going to move a lot more freely on this double caster wheel than it would on the sand pad. Now, the next step is pretty easy. I'm going to make sure that my trailer is relatively level on the wheel, and I'm going to take my tow strap and I'm going to run it through itself around the bottom of the tongue jack. Now this little lasso here is going to go up as high as I can get it, and now I have a handle that I'm able to pull the trailer with. Now, even in this high grass and this sod is soft, I can pull this trailer around relatively easy when I'm using this strap. Now this is about as hard of a pulling condition as I would go. It can get a little bit more difficult if you're pulling in with sand, but you can actually use this strap to pull with multiple people. Your co-pilot could actually push while you're pulling, but there's some major advantages to this. I'm not bending over, grabbing greasy components and straining my back. And as I pull, I actually lift up a little bit on the wheel, versus when you push, you drive the wheel into the ground. So this little tip does make it a lot easier. So there's a few variations on this. Sometimes when I'm by myself, I double the strap back twice to make it shorter, but I really do like being quite a ways away from the vehicle where I'm not running over the back of my heels and stuff. You can wrap your hand around it. Depending on the situation, it really is pretty effortless to move it, especially if you're on gravel or blacktop. One thing I will say is it depends on the weight that you have up on the tongue. Now I have a giant upgraded battery, but when this trailer is full of water, the reservoir is in front of the axle. So that's adding an additional like 200 pounds to this tongue weight. It makes it a lot more difficult in that situation. So I hope this little tip helped you out today. I know for me it means that I'm going to be able to face the stream when I'm camping for this weekend. Please make sure you swing by and hit subscribe on the channel. I think the button's down here. You click that and it definitely helps us out. Check out the links in the description to make your shopping a little easier. Thanks a lot.